When you're out on the road, it can be hard to keep your ego in check, but for the sake of your own safety, here's 5 ego-driven behaviours that you need to avoid. The first is speeding. Not only can it be tempting to keep up with other riders, but it can be hard to resist the pressure to speed up if there's a car behind you or if there's loads of people overtaking you, but the faster you go, the more risk you're at of crashing, especially if you don't feel comfortable going that speed. As long as you're not driving dangerously slow, remember to ride your own ride. If the traffic and weather conditions allow you to be, then you should be either at or near the speed limit, and then you're riding fast enough. Don't feel tempted to keep up with other riders, and definitely don't speed up just because the car behind you is being impatient. Let them overtake whenever they feel the need to. The second is impatience. If the car in front of you is going 20 miles an hour when you're in a 30 zone and the road is clear, this can be very frustrating. But the main thing is how you choose to deal with this. Flashing your lights, using your horn, tailgating, rev bombing. These aren't good ways to express your frustration. Keep a nice distance behind so you can see around the vehicle, and overtake when you have the opportunity to. Be aware it's not always obvious why the car in front is driving so slow. There may be something ahead that they've spotted before you, like poor road conditions or traffic, or they might have a fault with their vehicle, they might just straight up be not paying attention. These are all good reasons to keep a sensible distance and overtake, rather than putting yourself in danger because of your own impatience. Riding without gear. Okay, it's not always the most comfortable stuff to wear, or the most fashionable, especially if you bought cheap gear for your first set. And yes, you're just going 10 minutes up the road and you can get away with wearing jeans, but resist its temptation. You might get away with it for a few times, or you might even get away with it forever, but it only takes one crash before you find out how useless jeans are at protecting your skin. If your gear is really poorly fitted or uncomfortable, consider upgrading it rather than just leaving it at home. My textile jacket is not always fun to wear since the wind gets up the sleeves quite easily and it makes me quite cold, so this is something I'd be looking to replace once it wears out. This is kind of an obvious one. Stunt riding, wheelies, burnouts, stoppies, any of these things. There's a time and a place for them, and okay, they might look kind of cool, but wheeling down the motorway is a pretty quick way to lose your life, or your license, which is even worse. If you do want to learn how to do wheelies or any of these things, try and find some private land to do that on if you have access to some. This is the safest way to learn and to have fun without putting yourself and other people in danger. By private land, I mean looking for things like motorbike events where they teach you how to do these things, or where they provide a safe area for you to do these things. That's the main thing for me. If you're in a residential area, you could crash, you could hit someone. It's not just your own safety you have to think about. Finally, road rage. This is a difficult one. So much bike content on YouTube is super angry, like bikers versus drivers or angry man attacks bikers, these kinds of things. They're kind of fun to watch, but you can catch some of this content rubbing off on you when you're on the road. If your reaction to a near miss is to rev bomb, circle around and then chase the car down, you're putting yourself in unnecessary danger. Near misses are to be expected, so keep a cool head and move on. If you're full of anger, pull over until you've relaxed. You'll find yourself making a lot more mistakes if you're riding with a hot head. Definitely don't let this content rub off on you. There's decent moto vloggers and motorbike YouTubers out there that aren't just super angry clickbait content. A good example for me is Dan the Fireman. He does a lot of crash analysis or like close calls analysis. So if you like that kind of thing, he's really good. He promotes safety all the time and I really like watching him. So there you go. Leave your ego at home. You're on the bike, you're having fun. There's no reason to do any of these things. What are some behaviours that you guys see out there? And let me know in the comments what you think. Safe riding, and I'll see you guys in the next one.